Knife crime fluctuates and always has. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down like any other crime figure. Okay? So, when you have variation like that, you have to go on averages and things like that. But for the last 2 years, knife crime has gone down. Fatalities in the UK, dropped to 174 last year, right, which is the lowest it's been in about 15 years. Why isn't that on the news? Why isn't it on the news? Because it's good news, and the news don't like bad news. So I'm on the radio all the time, right, all the time. And they'll phone me up and they'll say, Pete, knife crime's gone up, come and talk about it. Someone's been stabbed, come and talk about it. So the other week I phoned them up and I said, knife crime's gone down again, massive. Do you want me to come and talk about it? Oh, no, you're all right. I said, what do you mean you're all right? This is good news. No. We'll let you know when it goes up. That's the news for you. So knife crime is on a downward spiral. It has been for the last 2 years. Knife crime in the UK last year went down about 9%. Hospital admissions, people going into hospital with stab wounds, went down 10%. And fatalities, deaths, dropped by 23%. Isn't that good? Yeah. Still too high, still higher than what it was 15 years ago, but we're going in the right direction. Hopefully, it's not going to come back up next year. We've got to keep the pressure on. Okay. Any questions on that? Everybody clear? Anybody want to ask about the figures? Good. So, what helps to reduce knife crime? Have any of you got any ideas? Right, you're Prime Minister for one day, right? And your only job is to reduce knife crime. Do anything you like. Nothing's off the table. Much budget as you want. Do anything you like. You can only do one thing. What do you do?
Stop the side of them, can you?
Sorry?
Everyone needs
Educate.
it.
Excellent. What else? Anything? Do anything you like. You've got the whole country at your feet. Do anything. What would you do? Difficult, isn't it? Yeah. So, earlier Richard said something really, really interesting that I used to talk about a lot, but not so much now. When I was full of PTSD and a very angry, volatile man, I used to blame everybody. The coppers ain't doing enough. The politicians ain't doing enough. Yeah, the schools ain't doing enough. Nobody's doing enough. And I woke up one day, hang on a minute, you ain't doing nothing. All you're doing is moaning about it. So what are you doing in it? So that's when I started to realise that I have to do something about it. So I'll tell you what actually works. This is proven to be effective. They call it the public health approach, right? That's the fancy word for it. And we know it works because it's worked in other parts of the world, and it particularly worked really well in Scotland. Scotland was the knife capital of Europe. Yeah, not the UK, Europe. Glasgow in the 90s was horrendous, the amount of murders that they had in Glasgow. And for about 30 years, they fought it hard. Special patrol groups, really, really violent police teams, they really cracked down on it. Long sentences in Scotland for knife crime. And you know what happened? It went up. It went up, and then after about 30 years, somebody, I don't know who, said, hang on a minute, we keep doing all this and the figures are going up. Maybe we should do something different. Yeah, we will. What are we going to do? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give the young people good education. We'll give them nice homes. Yeah? We'll give them good health care. We'll feed them. We'll bring back apprenticeships. We'll have parks. And we'll put all the money into that. And knife crime dropped dramatically. I'm talking about like 50-60%. It didn't happen overnight, it took about 10 years. Knife crime not only fell through the floor, for a period of time, Glasgow was the safest big city in the UK, from the most dangerous in Europe. This is what reduces knife crime, and it also provides maintainability. It's something that you can continue. Yeah? So, although I do educate people, which is really, really important when it comes to knife crime, because of the fear stuff, but to be honest with you, what I do is like really insignificant to what some of the wonderful people in our community do. So everybody that's giving a young person a chance by employing them, or counsellors looking after people in their constituency, yeah, or people who run the Scouts or the Brownies and giving them something positive to do. They run a football club for no money at all. They just do it because they love it, yeah. All those people are what are making a far bigger difference than I ever will. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, and I see that on a regular basis. So, all I do really is I get the message out there. I'm not doing the real hard graft on the ground. We do provide sporting activities and stuff for young people, but it's really small compared to some groups. Okay? So, the only way we can beat a society problem is with society doing it together. So whether that's your church, I'm sure you have lots of different groups with lots of different people, but everybody that's working in the community is helping to resolve this problem. Now that's a pretty boring answer really, isn't it? Because we're not locking everybody up, or we're not putting sentences up, but it doesn't really work. What works is working as a community. So that's what we have to keep doing, and keep the foot on the pedal, and keep the momentum going there. I spent many, many years as a quality manager in a factory. What's he going on about now, you're thinking? But it's relevant. I was in charge of a massive multi-million-pound company. I was in charge of the quality control, right? So when we was having loads of rejects come back from the customer, the boss would say, you ain't doing the job properly, you're rubbish you are. I'm sorry. But then when we was having no rejects, he'd say, hang on a minute, we don't have any quality problems. Why don't we make some people redundant and get rid of them, save some dough? Well, you can, but then your problems are going to come back. So what we have to do has to be sustainable. Parachute funding and stuff like that, dropping a few quid into little areas to try and make an impact, don't work. They may momentarily, but we need a sustained effort. Okay? On that, I'm now on my third police inspector in Redditch, and I'm on my third MP. And I can honestly say the team that we have got around us and all the people that support us in schools and the local council, etc., is by far the most proactive team that we have had in Redditch, and they're doing some fantastic work. So this is what I tell young people in assembly, and I do like little scenarios about why this works. If you are a young person in Redditch and you do not associate with drug dealers, you do not drug deal, you do not carry a knife, you do not associate with a mate that carries a knife, you're really not in any more danger than I am. So think about your behaviours and how they impact on your safety. Take some responsibility for what you're doing and don't just blame everybody else. If you do that stuff or don't do it, then you're going to be relatively safe, especially in Redditch. And we've got to stop the spreading of fear.
Great.
That's it.
Before we finish, any questions on what I've said? Because there's quite a lot to take in there. Or any areas that you want to know about the law or what's happening figures-wise or where we're going. The government have put a pledge in, by the way, that they want to reduce knife crime by 50% in a relatively short period of time. Whether they'll hit that or not, who knows? You've got to have a target, haven't you? Yeah? And you know, sometimes you meet targets and sometimes you don't. What's important is we keep going forward. Any questions about me, what's happened, scenarios earlier, anything you can ask me at all, nothing's off the table.
Not really a question, Pete, I just wanted to say this has been amazing today, and thank you so much for all the work that you do in particular with
we've got a lot of respect for you here in Redemption.
Yeah.
You do with our young people, thank you.
Yeah, I know you have, thanks for that. But it's collective. I wouldn't be able to do this without people like you, because it just wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what I do is so far from being an individual thing, you've got no idea. I don't play nice. I have very, very few people that work in my group, right, because they just can't put up with me. It's my way or no way. I'm awful to work with, I really am, right, I'm awful. But I do have a big partnership of people that I deal with, right, and sometimes all I do is sort of give them a little bit of advice or guidance on what they're doing, and it's no more than that really. Okay? So, I'll let you get off. Oh, yeah, carry on. Yeah, plenty of time.
There's another aspect to this though, that
Yes.
we haven't covered.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a born-again believer, right, I believe there are powers of darkness as well as angels of light.
Yes. Yeah.
And I believe as the church, it needs to rise up and stand against the powers of darkness that
Yeah.
control the heavenly realms.
Yeah.
Because what's happening here is because it's happening there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Understand that.
So have you got a prayer team that supports you whenever you go, wherever you go?
No.
Do you pray for the police?
It's all about
No.
praying at the end of the day.
Sorry?
It's all about praying at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't have a team.
Right.
Right, I don't have a team. It's me. But I have lots of people that I know that are involved with the church. And they pray for me.
This is good.
Yes, it is good. They pray for me, and they pray for all my friends and all the people that support me. Okay? So I realise, and there's another aspect you've rose actually. So I deal with a lot of people who can be averted from committing crime.
Yeah.
Some people are beyond help. They just appear to be evil. For whatever reason that may be. It may be they've got a mental health issue, it may be nurture or nature. Some people are just bad people, okay? And with those, that's when we rely on the law. But what I do is try to stop that evil prevailing, yeah? And then for them to do good things. About 2 years ago, I went to a family party, and my auntie was there, right? I didn't know, but a couple of weeks later she passed. But I hadn't seen her for a long time, and I went and sat with her and had a conversation with her, right? And she said, and we had a conversation, and I've got a past that I'm not proud of. But I sat with her and I spoke, and we spoke about what I was doing and my approach and everything. And she put her hand on me and she said, Pete, you were the devil, but now you're an angel. And that's exactly what she said. And I thought, that's a bit harsh. I wasn't that bad. And then I've never forgot what she said. So wherever your religious beliefs are, I changed.
Yeah, but that can only be the power of God. You see. And my aspect is, right, if we are prayerfully supporting
Yeah,
people, whether they're good, bad or indifferent,
yeah,
right, they can change and
Yeah.
they do change because the power of God impacts people.
some do.
Right?
Yeah,
And it's all about forgiveness. No matter what the people have done, we have to forgive them.
yeah. So with forgiveness, I'll give you a little tip if you're suffering with PTSD, and I'll talk to you about forgiveness, right?
Yep.
So Adam was done great harm. Adam's my best pal, right? And this person nearly killed my best pal. So for a long time, I was very angry with the man that did it. That anger was destroying me. Anger destroys you,
It does. Yeah.
right? So, if you don't forgive, what's the alternative? Okay, which is what you're saying. So that's what I did. Now, for those that aren't a believer, and there are people out there who don't believe in God, this is what I'll say to them, right? I'll say, If you can't find the strength to forgive, right, and you just can't, right, I think that's the best way, personally. But if you can't, there's an alternative. Well, what's that then? I said, well, I've worked with many victims, many. And they tend to think there's only two ways: hate and anger, or forgiveness. There's not. There's another way that won't that path. And that's middle ground of indifference. You can't force someone to forgive.
Absolutely.
Can you? They've got to want to forgive. But in the meantime, while you're getting to that point, why don't you just be indifferent until you really find out which way you want to go? Because when you do suffer with great trauma, your mind is not functioning properly. Sometimes you just need time to step back, reevaluate, and then make a decision. Long way of answering the question. Is that right?
A few months ago, an understand I saw a supermarket, or we understand the people came over, young people from Birmingham.
Yes.
So a lot of the problems that seem to be made outside of us.
Absolutely.
What can we do? You can't do anything about that. Presumably,
Yeah.
we know that they came from Birmingham, which is
Yeah.
a bigger city, and that is something to create problems. Is
Yeah.
there anything we can do about that?
Yes, 100%. Right. The police are really rubbish. Let me finish the sentence. The police are really rubbish, not full stop. The police are really rubbish at telling people about all the good work they do. Right? We see a lot online, a lot of criticism of the police, and I've said to the police, the PCC, top brass of the police, all the time, you're really not very good at letting the general public know what you're doing to combat this stuff. You need to be better at it. So, particularly after the Ian Kirby murder, I was heavily involved with that. Have you got a minute for a quick story about that? So, I was looking after a lady, and she was suffering great trauma from a really serious crime against her.
Yeah.
And I supported her for nearly 2 years, right? And it was horrendous. But she was getting better. She was finding forgiveness. She was getting better. She was on the path. And then she came to see me one Friday, and we had a really good session. And I said, oh, right, I think it was a Friday. I said, what are you doing tonight? What's your plans? She had 2 children. So I'm going to pick the kids up from school. We're going to go to Asda. We're going to get some pizzas. We're going to go home and we're going to watch a film. I said, perfect. Great night. She left. Bit later, phone went and saw it was her. And I thought, well, that's weird. Maybe she's forgot something. So I said, hello, you all right? She said, no, I'm at Asda. I'm covered in blood and I've just witnessed someone being murdered with a knife. I don't know what to do, Pete. So I was quite heavily involved with that, and I did support her right up until she was really brave, that woman. She went to court as a witness in that. She was the only one that actually saw the exact crime. Lots of people there. And we supported her as much as we can. So before that, but especially after, and with all the county lines drug dealers, county lines is just people from other areas. I see the work constantly what Redditch Police and Bromsgrove Police are doing in liaison with Birmingham Police and, if you think about it, the Transport Police. Because they've got to get here somehow, haven't they? Yeah? I mean, Richard can tell you loads and loads about what they're doing to combat that sort of stuff. We was involved with some cases during the summer where arrests were made, county lines were broken, and that's ongoing. There's been some recently, but they're just rubbish at telling you. So there is stuff they can do. They're doing it. Can they do more? Yeah, of course they can, with everything. But you're exactly right. We do have a really big problem with people coming from out of area, and it's impacting on our kids. It's a high priority for the police. great point, but rest assured there's lots being done. Any other questions?
So,
Sure?
yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure to come to this lovely place. It's always nice to have an opportunity to just talk, because I love talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you.